Yo, what up, freaks? It's WeirdCock, and today I'm going to show you guys how to spawn objects, particles, create gestures, all the same thing. This is, of course, for VRCHAT, and you got to do this in Unity. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to our assets folder, and in an open space, we're going to right-click, create folder. We're going to have a new folder, and we're just doing this so we don't have any visual clutter. So in our new folder, we have to put a custom override controller in here. That is the first thing we need. So we're going to click in this search bar and type in the word custom. This will only work if you have an SDK downloaded. You're going to click on the main custom override controller and duplicate it. So you're going to press Control D and it will duplicate it. Then you drag this thing up and take the custom override controller, the duplicate, and drag it into the assets. So we'll do that. And then I have to find the custom override controller in this mess. Here it is. And then we're going to we're going to drag it here into the new folder. Go into the new folder, there it is. So we're assuming your avatar has the avatar descriptor and the animator. I'm assuming you guys just got this far, so I can't take you through every single step, but we're assuming you're here, right? You take your custom override controller and put it in these slots so you can do your gestures while you're standing and while you're sitting. You can name this stick, boy, ball, whatever, because that's what he is. And yeah, I'm going to turn off these particles really quick and show you guys how this works. So this is your avatar, and then this is your physics object in the root of your avatar. This is going to be your spring joint or your parent constraint or your rigid body that holds your particles, whatever. I just have a parent constraint on this one, but this could also have a spring joint. It doesn't matter. It's going to be in the same position, and it's going to have particles in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the stick figure ball or your avatar, whatever, and hit Control D, and it will create a duplicate. Now, I like to click on the main version of the guy and hide it so we're not distracted. And then we're going to click on the duplicate, and we're going to go back into the folder, and we're going to go to animation. Click animation while you're clicking this guy. You have to be clicked on your duplicate before you click animation. That way it says to begin animating the name of your duplicate, right? Click the create button, and then just name it whatever you want. We're going to call this gesture test. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you have a gun, just call it gun, shoot, gun, whatever. And basically, we're going to lock it. If you don't have this locking button, you can click this drop down arrow and click the word lock, do the same thing. And then you record. And then you're going to go into a B pose, but this is okay since this is the duplicate. You do not want this on your main. You just want this on the duplicate. And all you're going to do is, while it's recording, while it's locked, click enable, and then it spawns a keyframe. This is a timestamp. This is like pretty much like if you're making a movie or editing film. This is like the same thing. This represents time from 0 to infinity. And basically, yeah, you enable whatever you want, and it will save a keyframe of it. You can enable all of these, and it will just keyframe, and it will all be in the same time, 0. And you can click right here and drag them. As you can see, it works, and it's kind of crazy, but yeah. And then what you want to do next is you want to click the gray one. That way it selects all of them. You click the keyframe in the gray bar, and then you're going to do Control C to copy. Then you're going to just click on this little black thing, and then it will move the timestamp white bar over here. Then you do Control V, and now you have this constant looping animation, which is like I mean, this is kind of an old technique, but this is important because VRCHAT kind of messes up sometimes. So I've always done this to this day, and it works really well. And that's actually it. That's all you have to do. You can do the same thing where you hit record, lock it, then you go to your hips, spine 1, whatever, go down the armature all the way to your right wrist. Because I know a lot of people do things on the right hand. So right hand would be the right wrist, but this is a Mixamo rig, so it reads differently. And then basically, yeah, imagine this is like your gun. Everything inside right hand / right wrist would be like, you just activate it. Like if you have a gun object and it's disabled, just click enable and it will do another keyframe. So every time you do that gesture, it will pull out the gun and fire the particles at the same time. So yeah. I'm going to explain to you how to map gestures right now so you guys can not screw yourself. Oh, by the way, after you do this, after you create your gesture, you can actually go ahead and just delete your duplicate, like goodbye, and re-enable the old one. And then with this animator thing, you can also just delete that as well. Those are all disposable. This is so you don't have a million duplicates of the same avatar in your scene, making it really laggy. You do not need that. Um, you need a duplicate to get it into B pose just to create the animation, because you do not want the B pose to be on your main, because the B pose is permanent for the most part. Now you're going to click on your override and you're going to put your gesture where you want it. So since I'm just spawning these balls, I just want it on rock and roll because that's just comfortable for me. This whole thing will tell you what things you have. It's all dependent um, on what controller you have. I'm on, for a point of reference, I'm on the OG Oculus, just the Oculus Rift, the $400 one when it first came out. So for like spring joints and balls and stuff, I just do rock and roll because it's fun. It's a nice little way to spawn particles and also turn at the same time. But if you were going to do like a gun shooting animation, you would make one animation of you just activating the gun in your wrist and that's it. And you would put that in your, I'd like to do handgun, actually. And then you do a second gesture, like make a second animation where you actually activate the gun and the particles / sounds for shooting it, and you put that in thumbs up. Uh, so you have one gun holding gesture in handgun, and then another one in thumbs up for shooting. And this will allow you to just shoot with one controller instead of doing a dual setup, which is not very good. It's kind of unnecessary when you can just use a pistol like a pistol, if you know what I'm talking about. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I would go and test this in VR, but I don't feel like getting in VR, honestly. So that's all I have to say. I mean, that's pretty much it. And then, you gotta make sure your override is in the custom standing, stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'll show you guys one more test. If I take this thing and duplicate it, this is a good way to edit your gesture, actually. You can hide your original again, and with the duplicate, you can actually drag the gesture test on the avatar, and it will create another one of these, which means you can just go and edit the animation again, and you can have it spawn another ball if you want, and whatever. We can go into play mode to see if this works, by the way. Sorry, this is also the first load of the day. I just woke up and got on and started recording. So just give it a minute. Oh yeah, as an update, I've sprayed my room with Raid, so there's no more bugs on the wall. Pretty nice. Okay, cool. And there you go. All the orbs that I made for this month are just on at once, all blowing up. It obviously works. All these things have activated. If I hide him, it's all gone. If I turn it back on, there it is. If I try to, to prove this works, if I try to turn these off, force them off, it won't do it. Because the animation is on the avatar forcing these to be turned on. The animation overrides my key or my mouse, whatever. So that's pretty much it. And that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Uh, be sure to like and subscribe, comment, report.